It's hard to
If
tell.
it's big, no.
On camera?
We are now.
Oh, all right, let me check the time. All right. Ask 401. So, call the meeting to order. We certainly have a full slate of, board of directors today, so, I think we can dispense with that. You were taking the attendance, right? Okay, we're good. So the first order of business is the approval of the minutes of the last meeting, which was, May 27th.
Second.
There a second?
Second.
All right, are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? No? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. We do have two resolutions that Joe is going to explain, so we'll start with resolution number 1, 25-22. Select proposal and authorize contractor for demolition of 55 Washington Street, which we've been going back and forth with this for quite a while. So do we have a motion for this resolution?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, so now we'll have some discussion. Okay, Joe, take it away.
All right, so we got bids back for the demolition of 55 Washington. So it took a while to get the approval from New York State to spend their grant money on tearing that down. The state considers it a historically eligible building, and we needed to get certain stipulations through HCR approved and then met to get the authorization to release this RFP and pursue the demolition itself. So we did that. We had to do historical research, which we worked with the group out of Buffalo to do, and submit pictures of the state archives and do all sorts of stuff. And then HCR and SHPO signed off that we did that, and we released the RFP. We got 5 bids back, with the low one being $41,500, and quite the range. The highest, $118,230. So the low bid is a group out of Tompkins County, Common Ground Land Management and Excavation. They're a legitimate company that does this type of work. Our policy is to generally take the lowest bid when it's a responsible bidder, and I believe that they are. And yes, we have a contract also attached to the resolution here. So it's essentially what they provided us. Our attorneys require contract approval terms in the that were advertised in the RFP. We're appended to it, and then we also attached the scope that was in the RFP as well at the end to be all part of the contract. If we have any questions.
Okay, so we do have a motion and a second. Are there any questions like Joe asked? Does anybody have any concerns or questions at the demo? Okay, if not, all those in favor of resolution 25-22, say aye. Anybody opposed? Passed unanimously. The next resolution is 25-23 to authorize professional service contract for foundation design for professional engineers for 3 sites. So, Joe, before we do that, is there a motion?
Motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so we'll have some discussion. Joe's gonna go over this.
Okay, so this is for foundation design at the locations, the specific location on the parcels where we haven't done demolition. If you're kind of rear, you'll notice that there is compaction specs in the scope of the demolitions now. That's not something we used to do. So those are tested through the course of us doing the demolition. So the foundation team can depend on knowing what the soil is like, what the ground's like at that location. For the sites that are being built, for the projects that are being built in locations that are on a different footprint or completely different location on the parcel from where we've done demolition, we need to have this testing and review completed so they can begin the design work and do the design work for the foundation piece. And that helps with budgeting, it helps with moving the process forward with both the Seneca housing sites in Overton, Willard, and the Flagler site, Waterloo. So this is all funded by LB. For the 3 locations, we had a total of resolution somewhere here. Or 12,150. There it is. So that's across 3 sites. And then if there are dig safe considerations that they're running to, so if there's like a buried utility line or a gas line or something like that, it would be an extra 2,500 per site. So we're asking for authorization at this point for that base level of 12,150 plus an additional 7,500 should we need it for the dig safe considerations. And the last piece is during construction itself, which we're not to yet. There is a cost associated with engineers that are doing foundation that come out and inspect and do all of that during the actual construction phase. We're not quite there yet. So this is important, this number, this 6,000, that will be worked into the budget for actual construction when we are putting that together, hopefully this fall.
Okay, are there any questions I'd like to ask Joe on this resolution?
You're taking a house down and then you're doing a foundation for a house, you know, why don't you just close what you take down, and when you're ready to build a house, foundation go with the house?
So the one that
change in between time.
Yeah. So the one that we're doing now, that 55 Washington location, it's gonna essentially have 2 houses with 2 structures built on it. So where we're tearing the house down, they'll do the compaction, and they're gonna have to review it again, I'm sure, by the time they're ready to build on it. But they don't know anything about where we haven't done demolition yet. So because we dug the hole and filled it back in, we have a pretty good idea of what's down there. We didn't do that where there wasn't a building previously and where we're wanting to put one. So we need to do that at the little specs where we haven't done this yet. If that makes
How
sense.
long before you're gonna be building?
I hope we're starting, I was just talking to Frank about this. I hope we're starting the building season of next year. Is really when this should be happening. But
So you build a foundation, you wait a year, is it fenced in or something? Or
Oh.
whatever.
this is only for design. We're not building anything yet. We're doing testing. They're boring down, studying what's down there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good foundation, I just building it, it makes sense.
Nope, not building yet. I wish. No, more studies.
Okay, are there any other questions? All right. All those in favor of resolution 25-3, say aye.
All right.
Is there anybody opposed? All right, nobody was opposed, passed unanimously. We're going to go to number 4, where the CEO, president, which is Joe, gives an update on discussion items. Well, there's 1, 2, 3 bullet points, and Joe will just take them one at a time, so.
Sure. So for the money piece of the Waterloo projects, Flackra, our partner on these, who will be doing the construction, we're going to take the foundation design, the drawings, the site plans, the permits, everything we got, hand it over to them, should they win their funding, and then they'll take it from there and build it. And we will get paid for the land bank. So to start that process, they needed to apply for the grant that's going to pay for it all, which they did. They pulled that together and submitted on June 12th, I believe. That was the first day that the rolling application was open. It's apparently a very competitive application for the HHAT grant, and they were third in line, which is good. They review them as they come as well. So I believe we're expecting to hear whether that's awarded or not around September. So hopefully it's awarded. The September, October meetings, we should be seeing some sort of purchase offer, or if they're not successful, we're figuring out what to do next. But that is the update there. So the grant is in. We're just waiting here for that piece of it. The Seneca housing projects. We did get the biggest piece of the puzzle. This one's a little bit more complicated on the funding side of it. We got the biggest piece of the puzzle secured of the small rental development initiative program for 1.5 million. That was announced and awarded. We had our first meeting with HCR for that program on Thursday. The next chunk of it that we need is going to come from the Land Bank's next Land Bank Initiative grant, which the next round should be opening to apply for any day now. So the plan is that we're going to apply for about another $1 million out of that to make this project go. As that all comes together, we're hoping that's together enough to start March or April next year of construction. So we are also still need to work through some zoning issues down in Romulus for the Romulus piece of that project in Willard. It's currently technically tabled for the special use permit for the Romulus Planning Board. We did have a zoning meeting that we're needing to go back and have another conversation with them about. Esther was very helpful in clearing up some issues to get that ball rolling. And we're now currently updating the designs, just tweaking a little bit, little things to resubmit for that. So hopefully by the next time I see you all, we'll have some progress on the zoning issues. And that is the update for that. The Land Bank Initiative Fund grant that we're on. So we have never read and talk at the same time. We have about $99,000 left to spend on the books between the demo, the environmental work, and the geotechnical stuff. We'll have about $20,000 left to spend, which we're going to spend at 4 Seneca Lane, getting that going for a full rehab over there in Seneca Falls. That would also be on the next grant. So we're expecting to tie this up over the next month or two for the end of the grant. which is good because HCR called and said that contract has expired and I need to apply for an extension, which they're completely okay with, especially as we're very close. We now have all of these things committed, and I expect that we're going to wrap up now shortly, that we're not waiting for approvals for anything else. So that's good news. And when the next round of LBI applications are being accepted, we're going to apply and ask for more money for what you want to do. And those are my updates.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions on any of the bullet points? Alrighty, next is the attorney update. Esther, do you have anything to report?
Just that we are gonna close on the donation from Habitat on Lonely Minder Street. So that's vacant now, I don't remember that. So we're gonna take that back. Joe's gonna sign that paperwork today. So that'll be a new site down the road at some point. And then for Seneca Lane, which Joe mentioned, is still pending approval with the Attorney General's office. That, as you might remember, it's, if the church owns it, the Attorney General has to give approval before they can sell it. They have to go through that whole process, even though they wanted to give it to us right away. But bureaucracy is.
We do have a pre-possession agreement.
You do, I don't know if you've been on site yet.
I haven't, I took it out there. I have initially when we were looking at it, but that's why we're able to start the asbestos testing. Because the architects and everyone in there. Hopefully it's on the mowing schedule now, the emails, we should be mowing it soon.
Yep.
I'm sure I get, so.
So that's all mine. And, yeah, we worked on the zoning part that Joe was talking about. That was sort of, we were working on over the last, since we saw you guys last. I think that might be it. Active stuff. I don't think we have other active acquisitions right now.
All right, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
And next is the CFO treasurer, Michael is here to give us a report on the finances.
Thank you. Thank you. So, your packet got in the email. There's not a lot to report this month. You can see in the first one is the balance sheet comparison page. There's a significant change from last month. The line 10092, your HCR phase 2, that's up well in the mid 50s, close to 57,000. If you go down to 23300, that one's down about 55,000. So we really have just a transition of funds. Not really much more. Actually, much of this is exact. Cash is down about $7,000 from the month before. If you go to the next report, which is basically the balance sheet, this is going to tell you also, like, as it's happened every month. So you're going to see what I was just referring to. If you look at 10092, you can see the increase. When you look at 23300, you can see the decrease. So you can see funds transferring over. So that's really just a repeat of the prior. And again, you know, much of these, the properties and everything stays about the same. Moving on to the budget versus actuals. Much of this is the same as it was when you met last month. There's some expenses, legal and professional, that were paid. Inex architecture, heating annuity, insurance, hours. We're looking in the $4,500 range, something like that, but everything else remains the same. So really the only alteration is line 61000 and 63000. All else remains pretty much the same. Moving on to the profit and loss. This is, it's interesting to take a look at last year. It looks way off, you might say, but really there was habitat income of $80,000, and then there was a donated property value, which we just discussed how there was going to be a property here donated. I mean, there really isn't a season or a cycle for that, so It doesn't know a calendar. With that said, legal was less last year. That again can also be about dating or cycles that you're in. But other than that, very much similar to last year. But I mean, obviously, those $156,000, so they made. The next one is a profit loss by class. I don't really have any comments on this, Joe, if you wanted to add. I mean, this just breaks it down to show you where the funds are going within each grant. Not really anything to compare to or anything, it's just where we're at with each one. It falls under general. Moving on to profit and loss by month. Again, you're gonna see, there's some grant income that showed up of $4,113, but again, legal and professional fees, that's that annex and heating of annuity and hours for insurance, all the same as, the first couple of reports. And that's really about it, only 3 checks written in the entire month.
Okay, so, is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
Motion.
Is there a second? Second. Okay, are there any questions we'd like to ask Michael at this point on the report? Good with that, so all those in favor of approving the treasurer's report as read, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, that's unanimous. Is there any new business to come before the land bank? Anybody have anything they want to talk about? No project you're interested in?
What is a pool we could all do later?
Now, we have the email of everybody, right? Everybody is getting the packet by email ahead of time, right? I just want to make sure we do. Okay. Okay. All righty. So, you gonna tell us the next date of the meeting, Joe?
I'm at Caitlin can.
Tuesday, July 22nd at 4 p.m.
July 22nd. July 22nd. Is everybody good with that? July 22nd at 4 p.m.
Works for me.
Good? Okay. So, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll see you in July.